We are back in the metal shop today working on the Honda CB650 Bobber. For those of you that are new here, let's show you the bike where we're at now. This is what we got going on here. Now in the last video I talked to you guys about the different exhaust options. We had the upsweep option versus the straight exhaust. The results were kind of as I predicted. The straight exhaust got the most votes. The upsweep did get a lot of love, but the straight pipe was the winner. But what I'm gonna do, but not today because my buddy who can bend pipe is not here, but what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna make an option where this one's a little bit shorter and it follows the frame tube here, which that got a lot of comments too, which I figured it would. So, but that's not why we're here today. There are a bunch of details to do on the bike and we'll talk about those as we go. So let's just quit chammering and get into it. Also, if you are new here, you can qualify to take this bike home. All you gotta do is go over here to the Patreon site, donate to the videos, and you will be in the raffle to win this bike, along with a full set of speed and strength riding gear, head to toe. That turned out pretty sweet. Next thing I'm gonna work on is this. Okay, so we recently changed the gas tank to the smaller tank. It's got a different mounting bracket than the previous. The previous tank had like a threaded stud on here, so I'm gonna knock these off and we're gonna drill and retap right here. And for the back, I'm just gonna drill through the frame right here and put a bolt through that. Alright, so we got the gas tank all mounted up. Nice little setup here. I'm gonna finish drilling this and drop a bolt through that. Easy stuff. We still have the seat here that isn't fully mounted down. This was from a previous gas tank design. So what I'm gonna do here is cut some round tubing and weld it to the frame to hold the seat in place. So let's hammer that out real quick. All right, that's a wrap on that. Before I put the seat on, I want to do something else here. This faux oil tank, which means fake oil tank, is going to hold electronics. This thing is really close to the chain right here. The chain runs just underneath this tank, and if that chain flops a little bit, which they always do, it's going to be hitting that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this bracket. That's still hot. What I'm going to do is I'm going to take this bracket, I'm going to remove it, and I'm going to move the oil tank as far close to this bar right here as possible. So we're going to go ahead about a 1 inch, and you can see this is at a pretty steep angle, so it'll move up as it moves forward. So let's get this bracket dialed in right now. Yeah guys, I apologize for any wind noise. I have a whole new camera and a whole new microphone coming. I bought the best microphone you can get. It's the new Rode mic. And so I'm gonna have better audio real soon, probably next video. So I just want to give you a heads up on that because I am not happy with the audio of this. Actually, I just bought this camera about 4 videos ago, and not real happy with the audio. So we'll get that dialed. Sometimes when you try to drill with a bigger bit without doing a pilot hole, it just doesn't do very well. So what I'm doing now is I'm just putting in a small bit to drill a small hole first, and then we'll go to the big bit and it'll drill a lot easier rather than try to force the bigger bit through the metal. Ain't one thing, it's another. All right, that bit was too short. It was a good size, but it was just too short to reach the metal. So, go a little bit bigger. And then we'll go back to the final size here. Do this one here. All right, what I'm gonna do here now is I'm just gonna round off these corners so it doesn't look so squared off. And then this right here is just a belt sander just to clean up the grindings and do the final touches. All right, then when you drill a hole, it has these sharp edges on it, and you want to knock those off. So you just take your drill with one of these angled bits, and you just knock them off. There you go. In case you're wondering why the 2 screws are different, I left the other bolt at home. That's the problem with coming down here and working in the metal shop sometimes. I don't have all the parts with me, but this will do for now. Doesn't matter. We're just fabricating. Boom, done. Now, I'm not gonna fully weld this in place just yet. I like to make sure the bike's fully complete, everything's working properly before we go welding everything down, because if we have to make changes later, it's just that much more work. All right, so after much deliberation, what I did was I put I hooked the wiring harness up to the ignition here, the switch, and I was gonna locate it up near the coil, just because of the way the wiring is. You know, bringing it from way up there to way back here changes a lot in the harness, but I'm gonna redo this whole harness anyways. So I think the most ideal thing is I'm just gonna take this cap off here, pop a hole in the middle, and this right here will come out the middle of this cap. And I think that'll be the cleanest setup. That'll be cool. You'll just have a little key right here. I like it. So let's just pop this cap off and make it happen. All right, so once again, gonna start off with a small hole because we need a 1-inch hole. Fortunately, this thing's too big to fit in the drill press. I'm gonna have to do it by hand. This is gonna be a bear. Look at the size of that damn thing. Whew. Guess I should tighten it down first, huh? Okay, instead of jumping straight to a 1-inch bit, I'm gonna go a little bit bigger here. Do it in steps. All right, so here's our final 1-inch bit. This thing is massive. Gotta say I'm a little sketched out about drilling through a thin piece of sheet metal with such a big bit. And I can only get this so tight without warping it. Let's see what happens. Alright, what I'll do is I'll just finish this off with a with like an air Dremel tool and clean that up. Okay, so like I said before, this thing is really long. So if I put this in here and put it in all the way, that just looks terrible. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna have this sticking out about, shoot, I might even make it just a little bit like that. So it looks nice and clean. So what I'll have to do is come back here and make some standoffs that go from the plate here over to here, put a couple of screws in there, and that should just hold things in place. So let's see if I can find what I need to make that happen. All right, so I found some hollow tubing that'll work. So I just need 2 standoffs cut at 1 3/4 inches. That should do it. Tell you what, this cutoff saw is a lifesaver. Perfect. Okay, you want to make sure they're both the exact same length. You can see one is like just slightly longer. The one on the left needs to be knocked down about 1/16 of an inch. So let's get those the same length. All right, so what I'm actually gonna do is I'm gonna drop this all the way down here, mark these 2 holes, and I'm actually gonna pop a couple holes in this for the screws to go all the way through, getting a threaded standoff. I just don't have it right now, so this is a good option too. So we'll just mark these 2 holes. Boom. then just center punch them so the drill bit doesn't wander around when I try to drill it. Okay, another thing I have here, I have this momentary push button switch from TC Brothers. What it is basically it's a little push button. So what you'll do is you will turn the key on, push the button to start the bike, because I did away with the hand toggle up on the handlebar. So all we gotta do is pop a hole in this for this little push button, and this plate will be done. Here's a better look at the switch. It's really small, smaller than a penny. When I bought it, I thought it was about twice this size. I didn't notice how small it was, but it's pretty easy to get your finger on it and push it. So, hey, you know what? Smaller is better sometimes. Boom. All right, so you got your key here, push button start. I like it. All right, let's go ahead and get the seat on here since that's all ready to go. All right, let's see how she feels. Yeah. I'm gonna hate to have to give this thing up. It's so slim. Feels like a whole different bike. Love it. Okay guys, in my last video you saw that I mounted up this rear brake light switch. Basically when I push on the pedal, it moves the rod, which pulls this little plunger out right here. Really not feeling this bracket right here. It looks like something you put on a bicycle. Normally this would be okay if that's all you got, but we have the ability to fabricate stuff here. So what I want to do is take this bracket off and make a couple tabs, weld them to the frame with a screw to hold this thing on. So let's get this chintzy sheet metal out of the way. Okay, so we got this bracket assembly off. So what I'm gonna do is toss this and basically just make a couple little plates that come off the frame right here with holes in them, and this will just mount right to those little plates. So actually, I guess I just need one plate. All right, so I just made this little tab, and that's just gonna go. We'll slide this forward. I loosened this up already, and that'll just come out right there. And I'll just weld that to the frame right here, and good to go. Let's go ahead and bolt it on now. I'll shorten that screw after I get it welded up. Just kind of hold things in place, figure out measurements, position, stuff like that. So that's there, and that's there. That's pretty good. We'll snug this back down. All right, let's just weld this bad boy in place. So that's done. We'll let that cool down and I'll bolt it on. All right, that's much better. All right, that is a wrap for this build. Don't forget, if you want to win this bike, go to the Patreon for the bike and full set of speed and strength riding gear. Don't forget to subscribe, comment, like. See you guys next video.